Dear students, today we are going to studying about economic laws and principles presented by Mr. Sachimanti, Department of Economics, FMKMC College, Madikeri. Let us know about meaning about economic law. Here is the meaning. Every science has its certain laws. Thus, like other science, economics has its own law too. Such laws describe how a consumer or a producer behaves. The consumer is assumed to maximize utility or satisfaction subject to the technological constraints under which the firm operates. Here, the economic law describes a consumer behavior. As a consumer, our consumer wants more consumption with less price. At the same time, producer also produce more with less cost. Suppose we have to find out this, we need some laws. That is called economic law. And there are important economic activities are there. Production, consumption, exchange of economic goods and services. We are all know about this already. Economic law are also concerned with the determination of the level of employment and income, as also with the distribution of national income or national product among different social classes such as laborers, landlords and capitalists. And economic laws describe the pattern of growth of the real output of an economy over the time. Modern economic growth is characterized by a very high rate of capital formation and extensive use of science-based technology. Science-based technology. It is also characterized by high rate of growth in productivity, by structural shifts in the economy, most significantly from agriculture to industry and then to service, by social and ideological changes, especially urbanization and secularization, and by much increased international economic linkages. Economic laws also describe the nature and causes of trade among the nations. In fact, various economic laws have been framed encompassing all areas of economic analysis, viz. Production, consumption, market price determination, determination of income and employment, as also the growth of economy, international trade, and so on. Let us take some examples to economic law. Uh, the law of diminishing returns to returns, or the law of variable proportions, the law of returns to scale, the law of diminishing marginal utility, Keynesian fundamental psychological law of consumption, the law of equi-marginal utility, the law of comparative advantage, and so on and so on. These are all examples for economic laws. Economic laws. Next, nature and or features of economic law. In that, first one is economic law as mere statement of tendency. Here, since the days of classical economists, the nature of economic law has aroused a lot of controversy among the economists. The classical economists discovered the operation of the law of diminishing returns in the agriculture, which was the most important economic activity on the eve of Industrial Revolution, which started around 1760. However, the classical economists did not say anything about the nature of economic law. They believed uh, that these laws were comparable to the law of nature. Next feature is the scientific nature of economic law. Scientific law seeks to establish cause and effect relationships. Economic law also tried to do the same thing. Such law seeks to establish behavior of man and economic phenomena. Hence, economics, economic law are scientific in nature. Scientific in nature, economists first try to study the behavior of a rational individual as a consumer or as a producer. The objective of such study is to discover a particular type of behavior, that is how scarce resources are used to satisfy wants. Then the behavior of several individuals is studied to find out whether any particular pattern of the behavior emerges. So that's why the economic law is very scientific in nature. Scientific in nature. Next is exactness and definiteness of economic laws. If we make a comparison between economic laws and law of physical science, we observe that the economic laws are less exact and definite than those of physical science. For example, the law of diminishing returns is less exact and uh, definite than the law of gravitation. While we can say, or while we can always accurately calculate and exactly measure the movement of the solar system and predict their exact positions in the fixed point of time, uh, but we cannot predict the behavior of different individuals in response to the particular change, or the behavior of the same individual in response to the same stimuli at different time periods. But economic laws are more exact than the law of other social science, because it should be reminded that the law of economics are more exact than those of any other social science, because the economic phenomena are capable of being measured with the measuring rod of money, rod of money. Next one is economics law are different from the law of government. The economic laws are different from the government laws. The government law are obligatory, but economic laws are uh, based on objectives and purely based on uh, goals or scarce behaviors of uh, of consumer. So that's why it is different from government laws. It is different from government laws. Next, the transitory nature of economic law. Apart from inexactness and lack of definiteness, economic law have other backward uh, drawbacks of drawbacks as well. Unlike the law of physical science, economic law are not a universal nature across time. In other words, such laws do not always hold true. The reason is easy to find out. Economic laws are generally formulated in the particular social institutional environment. Therefore, in the event of change in the environment or social institutional setup, an established law may lose its relevance. The present economic life of man is a result of long process of historical evolution. In the process, various changes have taken place in the institutional setup. The last point is on last nature or feature of economic law is relative nature of economic law. Economic laws are related to environmental science and geographical factors and politics and uh, to history. So that's why it is very related uh, nature. It has a relative nature of economic law. It's a relative nature to with other subjects. So these are all nature or features of economic laws. So finally, uh, in this video we know about what is economic law and its nature and features. Nature and